At the second edition of the Ghana SMEs and Young CEO Summit, it is particularly appropriate that we focus on this aspect of business growth as it ties into our theme, corporate leadership, governance, a strong pillar for business and economic growth, and business scale-up. For the next few minutes, we're going to have some very spirited discussions on this broad theme. And ladies and gentlemen, allow me to acknowledge with gratitude our panelists as they make their way here. Mr. Salil Kalmoni, Mr. Ni Amankratete, Mr. Hussein Fakri, Madam Kiran Daswani, Dr. Furi Sabu, Mr. Samuel Amon Tobin, Dr. Dan Makoli, Mr. Michael Lugli, and Dr. James Orleans Dixie. A round of applause as they come up. This morning, to moderate this all-important discussion, is the General Manager, Omni Media Company Limited, City FM and City TV, and the host of the City Breakfast Show. Please make welcome your very own Bernard Oku Affair.
When did corporate governance become important? Usually, you think of corporate governance after you have become a large company and now the stock exchange is thinking about you. But when you are doing corporate business, you don't think about corporate governance. But then the topic says the role of corporate governance in business growth.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Salim Kalmoni. I'm the managing director of a family-owned business called Japan Motors Trading Company Limited. We were incorporated in 1965, so we're over 50 years old. With a family, as a family even before that. So we're the distributors of Nissan in Ghana, also Yamaha, Photon, with a sister company called Silver Star Auto, which does Mercedes-Benz. So we've been around for quite a while as a family.
Since 1965?
65 as a corporate entity.
Wow, and some of the brands we know, you are the official distributor in Ghana. Great. Magdan, we know a bit about you in your speech, but when did this journey start for you? And tell us a bit more about yourself.
Magdan started as a messenger in the logistic industry. It's been a long journey. Currently, we run from 2,400 ports worldwide. We have our own offices in almost all the continents. We do total logistics, mainly projects. We are into the aviation space and also the shipping space. And there is a few months or years to come. Magdan is starting the Black Star line.
Wow.
So we are actually reviving it. We are at the final stage of, we just procured 4 vessels to run the Black Star line.
Amazing. You started as a messenger. I like that. Thank you. Is that Dr. Orleans Lindsay? Or who's my next panelist? Yes, please.
I'm James Lindsay. It's simple that way. I'm a paranoid optimist and a serial entrepreneur. I invest in everything. But my route to fame is the JL properties.
Wow.
Yeah, I build everywhere in this city. Arguably one of the biggest in residential development. I started building houses when I started getting involved in building houses when I was in class 3. Because my father, that's the first time my father took me to a construction site. And that is how it started. I've been interested in buildings all my life, although I'm a scientist. I build houses. All I do is to just bring in new concepts here and there, improve upon every development that I do. So this has the long and short of it.
I am so excited. You are an eternal optimist and you're a paranoid optimist.
I'm a paranoid optimist.
Amazing. I'll come back to that. Thank you for talking. Let's come to Enterprise.
Good morning. My name is Haitham Fakri. I've been living in Ghana for now 26 years. My father was actually born in Nsawam in Ghana in 1937, just for you to know. So I guess I'm third generation Ghanaian. Our main business was actually Ghana Rubber Products. Everyone probably heard of Chalewote. So this is what we initially started doing, and then 1970 we started off with Interplast. I took that over about 24 years ago. We've managed to become the biggest in Western Central Africa at what we do. We need to get water to people. It's vital. We also have a development company called Dream Realty. We built the Octagon, which is not too far from here, which is the biggest single building in West Africa. We've got a number of other smaller businesses, but I think we don't need to go through all of that. So this is pretty much what I do. I'm the CEO of Interplast.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing. Kiran Daswani, The Greens.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kiran Daswani. I am originally Indian, born and brought up in Spain. A mother of 2 children. I established my company here in 2014. The first company by the name of Aluwand West Africa. We're into external facades in the building sector. And a year and a half ago, we acquired 7 acres of land in community 25 Tema. And we're developing a gated community of currently 130 duplexes, affordable housing. We still have a long way to go since we just established ourselves in 2014. Near all our panel members who are here for decades. So
amazing. So we have 2 housing people on the panel. We have somebody who gives us cars, somebody who can connect all the piping in the house, and somebody who has shipping and transportation. We need money. And I guess you are the guy. Because to access all these services, I need some money. Tell me about Bayport and what you do.
Thank you very much, Bernard. CEO at Bayport. I prefer to call myself a senior team lead. Bayport has been in Ghana the last 15 years and is a leading financial solutions brand in Africa and South America. We are present in 9 countries, 7 here in Africa and 2 in South America. Over the last 15 years, we've carved a niche as Ghana's leading payroll lender. And just last year, in October, we secured a savings and loans license. So we're pretty new to the game, but we are learning to be the very best in that space. One of the most important things for us as we have traveled this journey is how do we become that trusted brand that Ghanaians want to do business with. And that's where we are at right now.
Great. So let me start with the family companies in a way. So usually in Ghana we talk of corporate governance only when something goes wrong. So the banks have collapsed, so they did poor corporate governance. But for somebody who started a company in 1965, at least, obviously you must be doing something right for you to still be one of the best in 2018. So I'll come to Salem and then Interplast. Tell me how you integrated good corporate governance in companies that appear from outside to be family private companies, and how that has sustained your businesses over the years.
I think it's important that governance doesn't happen only at the corporate, but within the institution at the operation level. So I have monthly management meetings. I encourage my departments to have weekly meetings. Then it's important that different departments also, for example, in the motor industry, there are 2 major departments and income earners: the after sales, the workshop, and the sales, the salesmen and the vehicle sales. These 2 departments don't talk to each other. In a manufacturing setting, for example, the manufacturing and marketing will not talk to each other. So it's important to institute structures of forcing these departments to talk to each other. So a couple of years ago, when I saw that there was also tension and blame between sales and the workshop, I instituted a monthly formal meeting where these 2 departments talk to each other. Then there's also the shipping and clearing, also with sales. So again, I instituted a monthly meeting to force these people with minutes and an agenda to talk to each other. So I call this governance at the operational level. This is important, rather than one person, the MD, being the center of attention and solving issues. This way, you let departments talk to each other and you institute this. So this is how we have done it in our company.
Great. Mr. Fakri, any more comments on that?
At the end of the day, the company is just as good as the leader. If you're leading well, and by example, everything goes smoothly. You cannot be careless and expect your staff to care. It's impossible. You lead by example, you show them what is right, make sure your staff trusts you. There's always problems between various departments. If there weren't any, there'd be a problem. Not having a problem would be actually a problem. There always has to be a problem here and there, solvable. The leader makes sure that all problems are solved pretty quickly. At the end of the day, it's all about common sense. No one wants to take from the other. Everyone wants to work with each other properly for the success of the company at the end of the year, which eventually is the success of the staff. Things are pretty simple as far as I'm concerned. You just have to simplify.
Simplify.
Simplify is the key.
Fantastic. So McDan, during your presentation, you said you didn't focus on the personality, you focused on structures, and you kept insisting on that point. Talk to me a bit about that and how it shaped the company that you built. The idea that it's not about the person leading the company, but about the systems you put in place to ensure good governance.
You know, we've come from a culture where discipline is really not part of us. It's, you know, I was listening to my brother just here, and a business was built for him by his father. I wonder how many of us can leave our businesses for our children. It's a difficult thing to do in Africa here. That is why our companies collapse when we are about to scale up. Before you can build those systems and structures, you need discipline. It is a wonderful thing to be an entrepreneur, but we cannot just let go. You have to let go. You have to get to a level whereby you have to scale above the company. But your company is supposed to be bigger than you. But immediately you are bigger than your company, there's a conflict. And I always say that, see, you don't get what you expect. You get what you expect. You only get what you expect by leaving those structures down, then you inspect what is being done. It's a difficult thing here. You know, whilst I'm speaking, I'm putting myself in it. You know, I'm living it. This is not a theory from anywhere, but I'm living the business. So I easily resonate with the happenings of the business. So you get what you expect, you don't get what you expect. And you need discipline. And with the right attitude, you'll be able to have that structure.
So you're saying it's a discipline to separate and hold yourself in check as a leader and allow the company to work. Let me talk to the serial entrepreneur and paranoid optimist. I want to know your story because you seem very interesting. You say very interesting things. So share with us how you got here.
Well, in simple terms, by being accountable. You see, most of us, listen, you have your receipt book in your bag. Then you pick a check or you pick a payment, it's in your bag. The weekend you are going to spend it. You are not being accountable and you are not being fair to the people you employ. Basically, you need to get yourself and your other employees or see them as you. Because you are living for them, they are living for you. A jail basically is a way of life. None of the people I employ would say his company. They say our company. And that culture, once you imbibe it, once it is ingrained in your employees, the sky is the limit. Because then there is a sense of ownership. And by that is how...
At what point does that happen? Because we are here as SMEs, supposedly. We are now scaling up.
Yes.
You are an entrepreneur. You have the idea, you have the drive.
Yeah.
You sacrifice all the time.
Yeah.
At what point in the company's life do you say, you know what, the check doesn't have to be in my bag anymore. I have to check with the structures of the company. Because you're also moving fast.
You know, even if you are two, you have to be accountable to the other person. It's from day one.
Okay.
It's very, very important. Otherwise, then you think everything that comes in is yours and yours only. And that is the beginning of failure. So if you are accountable to your other person, your partner, your driver. You see, your life should be an example for whoever you employ. Very important. Once you get those principles right, wealth is built in graduation, not just at once. And so once you get these principles right, then you know that you are putting your business on a very, very even or proper keel.
Later on, I want to know at what point each of you, your big breaks came. Because we're talking about business growth stories. So what was the big break for you? Was it somebody who kindly gave you $1 million? Or was it, we want to know. But the two of you haven't spoken in a while. Talk to me a bit about the discipline of separating leadership from structures, the personality. And also, at what point of a business's life you realize that you have to get serious with accountability, which is what Mr. Lindsay is saying. So let's start with Neem.
Thank you. So it's a day one conversation. If you start the journey without starting there, you will drop the ball. But there are challenges for every business. You know, it's great to put down the rules and talk about them, and there's another thing to also follow through with practice. And especially when it's not convenient for you as the leader. So the tests begin when you as the leader begin to subject yourself to the rules that have been set. So when there's something that happens in the firm and you have views about it, or you are clear about what you want, but you want for everybody else to follow those rules, you need to subject yourself as a leader. And actually, to embed those rules, everybody has to see you submit to those rules. So the question about accountability, the story about fairness, the story about responsibility has to start with you. Everybody's watching you. Your actions show everybody if they should follow you or take you for granted. So it's
a day one conversation.
It's a day one conversation. You put the rules down, but it's more about whether you are following those rules, whether you are encouraging it or destroying it with actions.
Okay, Kiran, any more additions to that, particularly because of the Indian and the Spanish perspective, in addition to the Ghanaian perspective?
I do believe that initially you mentioned that when we say corporate governance, we believe maybe listed companies and thousands of employees. Not at all. At the inception, even if we are two, even if we're one, there should be rules, regulations, systems, processes, accountability, transparency, and all that has been mentioned. But I think there is something that is very important, which is the human factor, because we are all looking to belong. We are all looking to have some feelings created inside of us, whether it's gratification, whether it's love, definitely honesty, definitely loyalty. But how do we get that from our employees? How do we get that from our clients? How do we get it from our supply chain if we don't embody that our own selves? So I think it's something that we all should look into. With technology moving fast, the world moving so fast, are we forgetting the human connectivity, which is actually what makes the difference? We do business because we feel comfortable. It's no longer a number, I think. It's more people who do businesses. We want to have employees who are in love with coming to work, with honoring us. But why should they do that if we don't do that ourselves to them? So we do have to lead by example, I believe.
Great. Let's talk about your own stories as panel members. People say doing business in Ghana is hard and there's no opportunity. A lot of our young people are crossing the Sahara. They want to get to Europe. Some are even walking across the Sahara. Yet you guys are making money here. What's wrong with the rest of us? What can we see? Please tell me so I can also make some of the money. Mr. Fakri, show me what I need to do to see business opportunity.
I think leaving Ghana and going to Europe is the biggest mistake you could make. I think the future is here, in this region. This is where things need to be built. Companies need to come. I think sticking around here will be very, very, very good for the future.
that all you say?
You said so many things. I don't
No,
even
I
know.
want to know, because the secret to Interplast, I mean, even space, I admire your company.
See,
you are everywhere.
There is no secret. The situation is just simple that we don't want to play second fiddle to anyone. We want to be the best at what we do.
Since when? Has that always been your idea?
Well, since I joined, yes, of course. You know, we in our group, when we do a business in Ghana, we don't do it for Ghana alone. We do it for the region.
Yes.
We think there's a huge market surrounding us. Unfortunately, for many, many years, everything was focused around the Ivory Coast and Abidjan. It took me a number of years to persuade the Francophones, our neighbors, to come to Ghana and try us out. And in a matter of a couple of years, we overtook the Ivorians. And we proved that we were much better than them. Now we're at least 2 or 3 times bigger than they are.
Wow.
And if we've managed that, I think everyone can manage that. But it's the attitude. You know, profit is secondary.
Are you in Nigeria yet?
We're in Nigeria. We've been in Nigeria for a long time. And Nigeria is difficult at the moment to do business with because of certain policies. But don't underestimate Burkina, don't underestimate Mali, Togo, Benin. These are huge markets. So, I mean, we sell to Mauritania, we sell to Chad, we sell to many, many countries. And I do not see why others cannot do the same.
Do you make your stuff here?
Everything is made in Accra.
And you sell to Mauritania, Chad, Nigeria,
Absolutely.
Mali?
And we'll give them as good a product as they could buy from the US or from Europe. We're very proud of what we do.
Wow. Please put your hands together. And you are saying there's no secret?
There's no secret. No. The secret is do things and do them well. The rest will come. Don't be greedy. Don't be greedy.
Please put your hands together for Mr. Factory. Mr. Kalmoni, can you help me?
Actually, the secret is known by everyone. It's called constancy, perseverance, patience. This is the secret. Actually, this is why I purposely said you were there since 1965. It's generation after generation. It's not a, what's the break? If you say, was there a break? No, there was no break. A few years ago, well, when I was younger, my father advised me. I was having a conversation with him. And he said to me, look, I did not make my fortune by winning the lottery or having a break. I made my fortune $1 at a time. $1 at a time. So this is the secret, this is my advice to SMEs. The power of compounding, you've heard about it.
Yes.
Okay? If you make 10% per annum in a year, and it's possible to make much bigger than this. In 7 years, you've doubled your money. In 14 years, you've quadrupled your money. So it's just constancy. Don't give it up. Don't give up. Build your capital and continue with it, and you will make it. That's the way most of us make it. The person who wins the lottery, how many people win the lottery? It's 1 in a million. And unfortunately for them, most of them, when they make it, easy come, easy go. Okay? So the way to make money and to sustain it, to build your business is actually gradually, slowly, and you get there.
Okay. So they don't want to tell me the secret. But I want to come to Magdan and Lindsay. So you notice both Fakri and Kalmoni have spoken about their fathers. They speak about family intergenerational transfer of some ideas or some ideals. That doesn't seem very common here. As you said, Magdan, most of the companies here, we don't have, intergenerational transfer of business at all. Is it our culture? Is it our mindset? How come most of you are first generation? I mean, the two of you sit in the middle there. You are first generation in your family, right? If I'm wrong. You are the first in your family to reach the level you've reached. Why?
Well, for me, as you know the story, I started as a messenger. See, there is a lot of money to be made here. As you need to be consistent. You have to be honest. One of the pillars of my business is integrity. What we don't have is integrity. We take our integrity in our business life for a joke. And I can assure you that if you take integrity for a joke, your business will crash. And also, there's no success without history. You can never be successful if you are not consistent. If you see somebody is telling you he's rich but he doesn't have history, then there's a problem there. If you look at the youth of today, and even those rising very fast, today you see them doing this. 2 years, they see that a friend is doing this, they move there. Another year, you see they have moved to another field. I have been in this same industry for 29 years. I have never looked elsewhere. I was very consistent. I took a lot of risk. So you realize that you move. You end up spending 2 years here, 5 years here, 6 years here. You have gathered all, you've wasted 15 years of your business career or your distance. So for me, consistency
is a key. Integrity. So I'm hearing the same thing. Somebody says patience. Don't be greedy. Somebody says constancy. Now you are saying consistency and integrity. I'm still looking for the magic bullet. Maybe you can give it to me. What can you add?
Well, Bernard, I think that we're talking about we having secrets or something like that. My point is, in Ghana, most of the youth or small businesses or unemployed people are not looking. You need to look. When you look, where? When you look, you find it. Let me give you an example. The two problems we are having in this country: sanitation. Anybody who gets the sanitation issue right will make so much money. So you take a part of it and you run with it. Secondly, housing. We say we have 1.7 million deficit. Is it a deficit or ability to pay? Two things. Anybody who gets the affordable housing concept right will make so much money, because the kiosk mentality in Ghana is not because people want to have sleeping kiosks. It's because they just can't afford it. So if someone can come out with a technology and get simple, affordable homes, the person will make money. Why go chasing 700 cities a month job at National Builders when you can do vegetable garden and make money? I've made money in there before. Why chase that? 700 cities, the kind of money you will use to go up and down for the month, 400, 500. So your net gain is 300. But if you get 10 beds, garden beds, plant carrots or lettuce, hibernation period 3 to 6 weeks, you have no money. After that, you will make so much money, it will be more than 2,000 a month. So why do you say there are no jobs here? Wow. We cry and cry and cry. The easiest and simplistic place to make $1 profit in West Africa is Ghana. You have peace, you have tranquility, you have everything. There's protection, the laws are working, and then you say there is no work. No, I don't believe it. So you look and you find Bill Gates is investing over 200 million to get improved toilets for Africa and Asia. And I was telling someone the last time, I said, if we can build toilets for everybody in Ghana, 6 months, we will still not use it, because you know why, Ben? It's because we don't clean after ourselves. So you get modern toilet and everything. After 6 months, it's disused. So it's our mentality.
You are depressing me now.
Yes, it's our mentality.
I wanted inspiration, now you are...
No, it's our mentality. So we need to get our mentality right, and you make money. All I'm saying is that let us all look. It's the easiest place to make money, Ghana. It's peaceful. And so...
Any comments on what he's saying?
Bernard, I support what my brother said. I remember when I was young, I was selling maize.
You were selling what?
Maize.
Maize.
I mean, Saturday, Sunday, I leave to Techiman, buy maize, put it into a warehouse. During my maize period, I noticed that we had a lot of coffee in Ghana. So I started buying coffee. I made my first $1 million at the age of 28 years. Through some of these things. So that's the secret I'm telling you. The secret So the secret is there. I mean, wow. You can look. He said, look, all you need the opportunity. When you see the opportunity, you have to grab it. And when you grab it and handle it well, you grow. This is where to make money. There's nowhere else.
I'm coming at this rate. Enes, you said the Minister for Business Development should become Minister for SME. By the time this panel finishes, you don't have any work to do again. Because it looks like just start the business, be persistent, you will succeed. So it doesn't even need to do business development, anything. So I don't know. Anyway.
No, Ben, I think what my very senior colleagues are talking about is character.
Character.
It's character. Just like for people, before you invest in people or you make friends with people or start to have a relationship with them, there's something about their character that attracts you to them. When they are consistent, when they are constant, when they are loyal, you stay with them. Businesses need the same kind of character. Businesses thrive. So don't forget, the aim of the conversation we are having today is how do we have businesses that are transgenerational, that move past one generation. We're not talking about the back thing. You want to make money that goes into the next generation. And the anchor for that is character. It's a business that is not looking at making the sharp money now, but it's looking at how do we do this over a longer period of time. And for that, you need character. You need your corporate governance. That's underpinning that. You need people who understand that this is not just for now. You need people who are thinking excellence.
Okay.
People want more out of it.
You know what? Let me stop all of you. So here we are saying that we want small businesses to do better. We've brought some of the most successful businesses in the country and we're asking them, what do we need to do? They are saying, be constant, be patient, don't be greedy, understand your history, be honest, develop character. So you guys need to say that we the guys who are downtrodden, we don't have all these things. And you are the guys who have all this. So we the people who don't have these businesses, we are not honest, we are not patient, we don't have character, we are not persistent enough, and that's why we are hustling. No, it's not because the system has been set up to also, guys, what about the structural issues, right? You say we don't need money for business, really? I met somebody yesterday who said she's doing a mobile money thingy, and she took a loan of 3,000 and she's supposed to pay daily. And then somebody came to steal 1,000 cedis, and so she needs 1,000 from me to even pay back the debt before she can reopen the mobile money something. You say we don't need money, we need character. I mean, what are you talking about? People don't have money. And you are sitting and saying, honesty, diligence, patience, constancy. Really?
So Bernard, you're right. There are challenges. But it's things like these things that have been said right now that actually get you through the challenge. That's not to say that there are no problems. Doesn't mean there are not gaps. And since you're mentioning the structure, I'd like to repeat something that was repeated on this platform at another program earlier this year. It was the Economic Forum or something. And let me credit it to the person who said it was Selon Brandt here. I think it was you who was interviewing him.
Yes.
And we're talking about how do we really make that change in our country that's necessary for SMEs. And he said, look, let's move away from having these funds that people have to apply to and come to, and all these capacity building things that everybody's trying to do, but it's not directional. And go into a space where whoever the actor is, whether it's a state or big businesses who really want to pour into this, actually say, look, let's take 2 or 3 sectors where this actually works. Let's find in each of these sectors, if there are 1,000 companies, let's pick the 50 best in each of these sectors. So at the start of every year, we don't have to start with 1,000 companies. Let's start with maybe 100 who we know we can really manage. We have funds that actually can help these people go past it. But like Dan and many others have said, it's not always only about the funds. Sometimes you can pour the funds into it and if the people are not ready, it doesn't make sense. So if we take, if we look at NS's idea of having an SME ministry, or if we take Doc's ministry right now, and we have like 100 firms, and we say at the start of the year, these are the 100 firms we are looking at. We are on the program that's going to take them through the next 3 years and provide for them those things that they need to become employers of a certain number of people because these industries work. I bet you would make growth that we can point to and actually look at. So I think it's just the way we're going. If you're looking at it, if you're looking at our country and solutions for the SME challenge.
Thank you. I'll give you the last word, and I hope you will support me. What else do I need to succeed? These are SMEs who are looking up to these great companies. They've said a lot of things. What else do they need to do well?
So there is no secret. I'm really sorry. I'm going to just make an analogy, a simple one, and I will take it to parenting. We want our children to maybe go to Ivy League universities. But how do they get there? If it's not by, again, hard work, discipline, consistency, perseverance, and everything that my fellow panel members have cited here. So when we have all of that, the rest will just follow. It's just an outcome. Money is an outcome. It's a result of all that has been mentioned here.
Please put your hands together for her. Fantastic submissions. Money is just an outcome. So I have 10 minutes. Let me give the mic to you guys. If you heard something you don't like, please debunk it. Or if you heard something you like. So we'll just go around, mention your name. If there's a question or a comment. If not, I have a lot more questions for them. So let's see if there are any questions or comments.
I think we're just over-religious and we just waste our time expecting miracles rather than actually focusing and doing the work. People are sitting down, going to church every single day, waiting for some kind of miracle to come rather than focusing and doing work. And we really have to address this so-called religious problem that we have in this country because it is a problem. And until we start really focusing on hard work, and rather than going to sit down expecting some prosperity gospel, and it's really impacting on us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's your comment. Now the comments are good.
How do we become successful?
Yes.
Somehow, I would have thought that those we address these two are not here. Almost everybody here already has a business. So we should be speaking to those who are yet to start. How do we get successful? So many unemployed youth, to the extent that they are formed unemployed youth.
No, they are no longer. They've stopped that. They stopped that.
Somebody said, my man from the real estate arena, space, said, look, there's so much money to be made in Ghana here. Now, how do we see that? I believe that coming up with entrepreneurial ideas stems first and foremost from you being able to identify a need. A need. I repeat it, a need. Once you begin to identify that need and you work towards, providing it, is the beginning of a business. And we are too quick to judge ourselves. He started as a messenger. If he told you how, or the vicissitudes he went through to become who he is today, then you know that it is not just as swiftly as being a messenger and becoming a CEO. Okay, we give up too early, too soon. So you have identified a need, you must work at it consistently. That's the message you've been preaching.
Yeah.
Working at it consistently.
Yeah, but you see, hold on, this is my frustration. For everyone McDan, there are thousands of people who wouldn't get where he gets to. My worry is that we are in a conference that's supposed to address structural problems, and we are all talking about hard work, integrity, persistence. But aren't there structural barriers that we also have to address? Because as for the structural barriers of work hard, we hear that a lot in the motivational speeches.
Bernard, the structural barriers do exist. But again, we contribute to those structural, blockades. I'll give you an example. Why is credit so expensive in Ghana? Have we come to know why? Some of the reasons? Because most of us are so dishonest. A bank gives you credit today. Maybe the banks are not telling us the side of the stories. On a day like this, I expect the bankers to come and tell us how many defaults they have.
So credit is expensive because we are dishonest. As in, we the people go for the loans, so it's still our fault.
Exactly. See, so the banks are wary of us. They can trust us.
Everywhere we pass,
they give you the money, and quickly you
so
can
even
buy
the bank loan that we can't get is because we are dishonest.
Absolutely. I must be very honest here.
Is Ghana the only country with dishonest people?
No.
So how come Ghana rates are higher than other countries?
That is why the credit ratings are there. Okay, but we are consistently falling into that category where SMEs are supported and they misuse the funds. Banks are now having to go and establish a desk in some of their clients' companies because they cannot trust the cash flows coming to the banks.
So the banks are victims of our dishonesty. And the last thing I want to say, for those of us who are here,
Don't be too quick to venture into other unrelated businesses. It's another killer. Stay where you are, grow the business, stabilize it, and move on to something else. You cannot build a conglomerate. Sometimes in 10 years, you are not strong enough to branch into any conglomerate.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Fantastic. Thank you. Any more comments?
You said we shouldn't be greedy, we should be honest, integrity, and all that. Did you just realize that in the process or in the middle of your setting up your business, or it is something you started with? If you did realize it midway, what are some of the advice you want to give young CEOs who have such challenges? That is my first question. And the second one, I think it is a submission. I have personally worked in the rural area, worked in the urban, and I've worked in Europe as well. I worked in the civil service, and I was always like having issues with my colleagues and sometimes management. I thought it was my fault. Then I moved to Comfanoche. I had same issue. Then I started working for a foreign company, and I don't have that issue. It is because when they say work starts at 8, I work at 7. My colleagues don't come at 7, they come at 8:30. Halfway through the work, they'll want to go to the market and shop before they come back and see the patient. So I realized that I was having issues with my colleagues and management. But when I started working for a foreign company where structures, it's like I realized I'm now working with somebody who really shares my intellectual understanding. So I think the problem, just like this man said, we are very over-reliant, as a matter of fact, in superstition and religion. I had a colleague who, when it was 1 o'clock, we had so many patients we had to attend to. She said she's going to pray. She's a Muslim. But I believe that at that point in time, we should be more focused on the patient than whether it's religion or it is anything. So, one way or the other, I quite agree with the gentleman over there, and also I would like that you answer my question.
Thank you.
Everybody makes it sound like you don't need money to get by, and all of the attributes that you need should be enough. But then, we're also looking at the business environment in Ghana. Can we address some of these things, like how much bribe has to be paid to facilitate the things that need to happen anyway? Foreign versus local business. We have a lot of Ghanaians who have a lot of very laudable ideas, and they try to start these businesses. But what we also realize, and I'm happy the minister is here, is that you will find that when foreign companies want to move into Ghana, government likes to attract them with all these tax exemptions and duties and everything. And then Ghanaians want to get into the same business and have to pay for all these things. How does that create a healthy business environment, and how do you get to compete with foreign companies when there's so much that they don't have to pay for?
Thank you for your questions. We'll let the minister answer the second one, because that question was to him. So Honorable Awal, I'll be thinking about the answer.
I want to attest to something my dad said. I used to manage one of his companies. That's the real estate. And all he says, they are true. I'm a living witness. I started with him from the word go. The challenges will come, yes. But like he said, if you stay focused and consistent, the money you are talking about will start chasing you.
Wow.
The honesty he's talking about and all that, once those ones come to play, it gets to a point where financiers start chasing you to give you money, to even grow your business. And that is what he went through. So that's what I want to add to it, that when you put all that in place, the money will come. You'll be surprised. You'll be there. They'll be knocking at your door, wanting to give you loans, wanting to give you support and all that. He didn't start by looking for qualifications. I was there. He said, I don't need a degree. It's about hard work. Some of us left at a point to go and get their degrees and all that. We left him. But he kept persevering. And today he's where he is. Thank you.
Thank you very much. There are 2 questions for the panel. Please don't forget. Somebody wants advice for young CEOs, and somebody wants to know how you deal with structural problem of bribery as a young business. Yes, madam.
My name is Valentina Sam from the Ministry of Trade and Industry. And although a question on regulation was directed to our Honorable Minister, I want to attempt in answering some of them. It is true that for years, local businesses have not had a lot of incentives, right? And those incentives are rather targeted towards foreign companies which come in and mostly want to export. Now the reason is if you put a lot of taxes on their operations, it will definitely reflect in the prices of those products and will make us uncompetitive in export market. However, because we also need to grow our local companies, a lot of interventions are actually on the way, coming from the ministry through the MBSSI, which is an agency, which then again I would want to use this medium to emphasize that MBSSI is not a department. It's an agency under the ministry. And mandated by law, MBSSI is the only institution that can define and then promote SMEs in this country. But at the moment, because its mandate is only related to the small and the micro, plans are underway to restructure it into a single authority that can handle the SMEs as well, the medium part as well. So that's a little bit I want to add.
Are you admitting that you favor foreign companies?
That's not what I was trying to say. What I'm saying is the incentives are somehow limited for the local businesses. So to be able to address that, I didn't want to jump the gun because my executive director from the National Board for Small Scale Industry is here and will be answering some of those questions.
Okay.
So we'll leave that for him.
Okay, the gentleman who asked the question, where are you? When we close, across this table, there are 4 of them, they deal with them, they have answers for you. The other lady, Efiri, yes.
My name is Efiri Amwakwa-Mensah, and I work with Dr. James Olensinente. I was somewhat uncomfortable with the gentleman who took the religious angle. But I need to be clear on something. There is religion, and then there is faith. Religion is the practice, faith is the conviction that you are going to make it. And for everybody human, you need to ascribe to something bigger than yourself. That is the only way that you go from day to day. No matter the religion you practice, okay? Religion is the way to address your faith, okay, or to exercise your faith. So we need to make the distinction here. Ghanaians may be overly religious, but there are some who are faith-based. And for you to climb the corporate ladder, Bernard, you need faith.
Amen.
You know, it's true. I'm being serious right here.
No, I believe you.
Because my CEO always says something. He says the only constant in the success equation is greater grace, which is true. Bernard, look, you can do all the hard work. You can dot your I's and cross your T's. But if you don't get the grace to go forward, you will die.
I love it.
You see, so for me, that is let's understand something, okay? We are not, some are overly religious, but most of them are faith-based.
Okay.
They ascribe to something bigger than themselves. So let's not get into
You know what? Look, thank you. We have a topic for next year, SME CEO Summit. The role of religion and faith in business, something. We'll just run things. Somebody says, as a young CEO, what advice do you have for him? Somebody says there are structural problems like you have to pay bribes to move on. So be honest and advise us. How do you deal with this bribery? I'll give you an example. Somebody called my show and said, even to get a national tin, people are asking for 10 Ghana cedis, right? And let's not pretend it's not happening. So how do you deal with those kinds of things when you need to get a document and they are asking for money?
I was at a course yesterday on China, and now the second biggest economy in the world, soon to be the biggest economy of the world, and they have also bribery and corruption is an issue there which they're trying to control. And the professor said, I think not jokingly, he says the USA is the only country where corruption has been made legal. Okay? So what it shows, it's by other means and so forth. So this issue of corruption is something all over the world. I think if you accept this, that it's a challenge, it's an obstacle, yes, it has to be, you have to deal with it. You don't need to push it, you can resist it. It should be, but it is not something which is unique to Ghana. It is something all over the world, even advanced countries, there are forms of this. So I think with this attitude, one could overcome.
Thank you very much. Any more comments on the panel?
When you confront it, there's a heavy price to pay when you choose not to pay. You will lose business, you will suffer, you'll pay the price for it. And several times as a leader, I've had to make that decision in a room where we say, no, we won't do it. Now, every once in a while, you come across people who want more for Ghana and will be willing to do that with you. And when you find those people, that's the breakthrough that we need. So let's be clear about it. It happens, but you need to pick your battle and decide whether you want to be that kind of businessman or not. There are consequences. You and I know that. It's not easy. And you just have to make those decisions that I will not do it. I've seen a few times when people who make that decision become trusted and are actually, because you know when you do that, you price better than most people. And people know this. And even though you might not get, 90 out of 100 supporting you and saying that there are 10 people there who believe in you and will help your business succeed. And you'll be surprised. There are many businessmen who are known for that and actually are respected because of that. The point I make is, as Ghanaians, we have to make that decision. If we all do it, there will bound to be one or two people who break out and say, no, I want to pay and continue to oil that engine. But there are a number of us who, if we get to that critical mass, can make the changes we want for our country.
Please put your hands together for the panel. You've been hearing me, Amankra Tete of Bayport. You've been hearing Madame Kiran Daswani of the Greens. You've been hearing Haisam Fakri of Interplast, James Ollins Lindsay of JL Properties, Daniel Macaulay of Madan, and Salem Kalmoni of Japan Motors. My name is Bernard Able. Thank you very much for listening to us. We're bringing back our MC, Mr. Ajololo. Please put your hands together.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's appreciate our moderator and a highly spirited panelist.